As the saying goes, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Any warrior worth his salt needs to see the eyes of those he's killing. So close combat is where battles are won or lost. But be careful, because anytime you attack in close combat, you may get hurt by your enemy's defense. All right, witch. It was your turn to attempt to draw first blood. The first step in resolving a close combat order is for the attacker to total their attack dice and the defender to total their defense dice.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red attack icons, and I'm attacking from a red side of my base as indicated on a codex here. So I have a total of 5 attack dice.
My unit has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white dice, but you are attacking to a gray side of my base, which means that I lose 3 dice, so I am defending with only 4 dice. Attacking or defending from a gray side of a base, as indicated on the base's codex, means that you lose 3 dice from your attack or defense. You can never have less than 0 dice.
Now feel the wrath of Egypt.
This is why we bring such big shields.
I have a 6, 4, 4, 2, and the lowly 1. Isis, you are both kind and vengeful.
I have 2 5s, a 4, and a 2. Some special abilities can affect die rolls, so always check for that. We line up our dice from highest to lowest and then compare them. Her 6 defeats my 5, so I take a hit. My 5 defeats her 4, so she takes a hit. Our 4s and 2s tie, so no one takes a hit. And since she has 1 more die than I do, it is compared to what we call a phantom die, which has a de facto value of 2 but can never score a hit. So my phantom 2 defeats her 1, but she does not take another hit. The result of the combat is that each unit took 1 hit. Teach you to charge a shield wall, even if you did flank it.
No, by all the gods of denial, it is not right!
While she cries crocodile tears, you can see how to apply these hits in the damage video. While victory is best won with a sword, ranged combat is a good way of announcing yourself to your enemy. Kind of like a marching band, only with less music and more blood, and not as cruel. For a unit to be issued a ranged combat order, it needs to have figures and positions that have ranged icons, and is not in base contact with an enemy unit. So she stopped me from using these spear throwers by putting them into close combat. That was smart, but hopefully it also put both her units into range of this archer formation. That wasn't so smart. To see if a target is in range, you first decide which side of the attacking base you are firing from. For a unit to be in range, it must be within 3 formation base lengths from the notch of the attacking unit's base to a notch of the target unit's base. Laying that out, we see that my archer formation can attack the front or left side of her undead infantry unit. Looking at the centaurs, we see that they are also in range, but I could only attack the left side of their base, as all other sides are out of range. Tough choice. I can't say I'm a fan of either stinking undead or men with 5 legs, if you get my drift. Before deciding, let's figure out how many dice I would get to roll in each attack. The unit currently has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue range icons. There are several things that could reduce this die total. If a unit contains ranged combat icons, its codex will feature 1 or more blue sides to indicate which are the good sides to fire from. If a unit attacks from any side other than a blue one, it loses 3 dice from its attack roll. Both targets would be attacked from the front of my unit's base, so this doesn't help me make a decision. Next, let's look at the effects that terrain and other units may have on this attack. Remember that blocking terrain will stop any ranged combat. Luckily, I don't have any of that in this case, but to attack the undead, my attack would need to pass through these palm trees, which are hindering terrain. A ranged attack loses 1 die for every piece of hindering terrain or other unit that it passes through. And if the target of the ranged combat attack is in base contact with one or more friendly unit, it also loses a die. This is cumulative. So in this case, when attacking the undead infantry, I would lose 2 of my 8 dice, so I only get to roll 6 if I choose to do this attack. Looking at attacking the centaurs, I have a clear shot with no hindering terrain, but the centaurs are in base contact with one of my units, so I would lose 1 die for a total of 6 should I decide to attack them. Dealing damage is the art of slowly taking someone apart, bit by bit. Reducing options for cover, or attack until there is nothing left. As you may remember, I have been doing a lot of damage to her centaurs. I did 1 point of damage when she attacked my unit, and then another 3 points of damage when I attacked her with my archers. In a normal battle, we would have resolved an attack's damage immediately, rather than waiting to do it all at one time as we have done in these videos. So I will resolve each attack's damage separately. When the centaur unit attacked my infantry, they did 1 point of damage. Each infantry figure has 1 peg on the bottom, so each figure takes 1 point of damage to kill. As the unit's controller, I get to choose which figure to remove. Be careful choosing which figure to remove, because your unit will immediately lose the capabilities of that position. I will remove this figure, because since I am in close combat already, I don't think I will need the movement point. Now, looking at the centaur unit's damage, each centaur figure has 2 pegs on the bottom, so each will take 2 points of damage to kill. My defense delivered 1 point of damage. My opponent can select which figure to apply the damage to, but once a figure is selected, all the damage must be applied to that figure until that figure is dead. Only then can she choose another figure to take the hits.
I will put the hit on a figure with a movement icon as well.
If damage is applied to a figure, but that figure isn't killed by the attack, it's just injured, a die is placed next to the figure showing how much damage it has taken. If the unit takes more damage this turn from this attack or from another, the damage must be applied to an injured figure first until it is killed. If the figure is regrouped into a different position, the injury travels with it. If the figure is not killed during the turn that it took the damage, the die is removed. My archer's attack did 3 points of damage.
I have to apply the damage to the figure wounded in the last attack, so 1 point of damage kills that figure. The remaining 2 points of damage I will apply to this figure, which kills it as well.
When all the figures of a unit have been removed, the unit has been defeated and is itself removed from the table. Now that the damage has been done, and my enemy lays exposed, I think it's time to press my attack. Victory is not won in an instant, but earned over time. A standard battle is won by the first player to accumulate 21 victory points, but as mentioned previously, you can design your own scenarios with different victory point requirements. The moment that the victory point total is accomplished, the battle is over and the victor declared. This could happen at any point in the turn sequence. Victory points are earned in 3 ways. 1. Defeating an opposing formation unit scores 2 victory points. Defeating an opposing sortie unit scores 1 victory point. Killing an opposing commander figure scores 1 victory point. For the record, a commander figure is a figure that starts in a position with a yellow circle. If the killed commander figure is returned to play via special abilities, the point you scored is not taken away. In fact, if killed again, it'll score you another victory point. Starting a turn with 1 or more of your units on or adjacent to a piece of control terrain without any opposing units on or adjacent to the same control terrain scores 3 victory points per turn. Your units can be engaged with the enemy and still earn the points as long as no opposing unit has any of its base on top of or adjacent to the control terrain. Of course, if you have defeated all the opposing player's units, victory is yours, regardless of the victory point total. I have defeated her armies and overcome her defenses. And now I leave to claim my prize. Let me assure you, the taste of victory is sweet.
And bitter is the taste of defeat.
Finally, it is important that you always command your arcane legions with honor. If fortune smiles upon you, be gracious in victory. And if the gods forsake you, be magnanimous in defeat.